If you're stick welding and things are going sideways, like your rod's sticking or the arc's playing hide and seek, then you're one spark away potentially from throwing your helmet across the room. Don't worry, you're not alone. We've all been there, turning molten metal into modern art by accident. We can all do that, but fear not, because help's on its way. Let's unstick that rod. So let's get the rod started by scratching it like a match, not stabbing it like a psycho in a shower like that. So we're using new SMAW 6013 rods, and we're running them on 110 amps DC electrode positive. First run. So with this run we're going to try and do it properly, but we're using the lower side of the amp range recommended for this rod. So we're using a drag angle, we're pointing that rod towards the weld pool. The aim of that is to keep the slag at the back of our run, not in front, because if it gets into the front then that's when you get slag inclusions. So we've got the rod slightly lifted above the plate, which creates a small amount of arc blow, which helps us do this. As we come to the end of this run, we're now going to up our amps using the same technique and see the difference. We're only going to add 15 amps, but as you can see we've got more consistency on our width, but the run's fused in just that little bit better. So our next run we're going to push the rod close into the weld pool. This can cause us issues ranging from the rod cutting out and sticking to the workpiece, and having such a short arc length can cause the amps to drop, which will affect our fusion. So because we're in too close, the result is the arc force and flare are basically on vacation. It can't push the slag to the back of the weld pool where it belongs, so instead it piles up on top like an unwanted frosting on a bad birthday cake. Now potentially this could get even messier if we were working in a weld prep. The slag could sneak around the front, setting up nasty little slag traps that'll have your welding inspector shaking his head and your grinder working overtime. As you can see from the completed run, the run's a lot thinner and a lot colder looking. On to our fourth run. This time we're using the wrong rod angle and pushing the rod instead of pulling it to see what kind of chaos we can create, and trust me, it doesn't disappoint. We've got arc blow making the arc wander like it's lost GPS, slag inclusions hiding in the weld playing hide and seek, inconsistent bead profiles, and enough spatter to decorate a small country. Welcome to Welding Disasters 101. As I'm welding with a push angle, it just feels wrong. You lose control of the weld pool and problems start popping up like whack-a-moles. It's like the weld's got a mind of its own and I'm just along for the ride, when really I should be the one in control. So we've seen what happens when you're too close to the weld. Now let's flip it and look at what goes wrong when you're too far away with that rod. The arc stretches out, control goes out the window, and you're forced to move slower just to keep it going. That slower travel overheats the material, and the machine tries to compensate by boosting the amperage, basically throwing more heat into the plate and giving you even less control over the weld. So ultimately these are the things that you've got to watch when you're starting out with stick welding, is maintaining that arc length to the correct length, which already is the hardest thing to do. Then of course disaster strikes and the rod gets stuck just to top it all off. In this video we've covered some of the most common stick welding mistakes. We've all had our fair share of welding disasters, so why not share yours? Follow us on Facebook and post your stick welding fails. You never know, we might use them or feature them in a new video. The playlist on screen will take you to more of our stick welding videos, so go ahead and give them a watch.